Everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is late Friday night. Wanted to get this video out earlier, but I just got caught up with a few things, so this is the soonest I could get it out. But I want to go over the top 10 list this week by CBSI to kind of go over the hottest top 10 books for the week, and also kind of highlight a few books that I'm looking at, a couple that I just picked up. So highlighted here, I got this in the mail just today. Submariner and Hulk Tales to Astonish, number 90. This is the first appearance of the Abomination. The Abomination is kind of has a recurrence here in the Immortal Hulk series. Yeah, I just think there's going to be some attention maybe on his first appearance. Obviously, it's a major villain that the Hulk is constantly battling, and I just think that I think this is just a good book to have in your collection. So I was kind of like looking at eBay and finding some auctions, and this was an auction that I put on my watch list, and then as the time came, luckily this was one that I think that ended late in the evening, so a lot of times you get a better chance of winning an auction, or well, there's not as many people bidding on it. So this one is in really great shape. I mean, this is a 12-cent book. I mean, this came out a long time ago. I think it's in the late 60s. First appearance of Abomination. What's his name? Ivan Blonsky, I think his name is. And I probably got that wrong, but the condition of this thing is fantastic. I mean, I'm a real stickler for spine ticks, and there's really nothing wrong with this spine. I mean, this thing is like, I would put this at an 8.0, 8.5 range, definitely. The pages are a little off, obviously off-white. But, for the age of this book, the condition that it's in, I mean, it presents extremely well in a nice Mylar. So the colors, whoever owned this book previously did a great job of storing it. There's no fading at all. The colors are as dynamic as when it came off the press. And no major spine ticks or creases on the cover. So those are the two things that, and it's a complete book. No restoration, anything like that. So I got this thing for $60. I mean, I think this is easily worth double that. So I just got a really good price. I got very lucky, and it's a very, very nice high-grade copy. So, I would say high mid-grade to high-grade copy. So yeah, I love that book. So I'm very, very happy to have that in the collection. The other one is a store variant, Deceased number 2. This is the Arthur Soo-young, or I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's famous for doing these zombie covers. And I just thought this was a really cool. It's an homage to the Crisis on Infinity Earths. I think it was number 7. I think it was issue number 7 that had Superman holding Supergirl. This thing is just really cool. And I got really lucky too on this one. Every website I was looking at and eBay wanted like $30 to $35 for this. And I found an obscure online website that sold it to me pre-ordered for $15 a piece. So I bought 2 copies because I was like, shoot, for the price of 2, that's what most websites are charging for 1 copy. So I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, this particular cover. I just really like it. I think it's a really neat cover. It's one of my favorite covers from this Deceased. There's a lot of store variants out there. There's 3 regular covers issued by DC, which I think I have 2 of them. The Matina and the Putri are really, really nice as well. So I'll have those coming to me. I just thought this one was one of the better ones. That I just liked it. So for $15 a piece, it was real nice. I picked up 2 of those. So let's move on here. Let's look at the top 10. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So this is the Hot 10 list brought to you by CBSI. So we'll look at number 10 first. Veronica, number 23. Obviously, there's some heat on anything Veronica. Issue number 28 has been on the top 10 list the last 2 weeks because it was kind of a risque cover. Now this issue, number 23, is seeing sales in the $70 range. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a collector of any of the Archie Veronica books, so I got to tell you, this list this week is not that great. I don't really care for a lot of the books that are on this list, so I'll try to go through it as quickly as I can. Just not real impressed with the list this week. I'm not saying that the sales aren't there and people aren't trying to get these books, but it's definitely nothing that most of these books I would never even want to buy, regardless of price. Number 9, Boogly Heads, number 1, the Gus Fink 1 and 2 variant. So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting cover. It's definitely very cartoonish. And it's selling between $10 and $15. You know, this is a small publisher. I don't know. You know, if you click on this and go to eBay, you know, somebody is asking $38 for it. Yeah, that's crazy. So that just shows you how, you know, there's not very many for sale. So that just shows you, you know, the $10 to $15 range, that particular variant seems to be bought out, and now there's only one listing for $38. So, yeah, I don't know. Just nothing I would go after. But hey, to each his own. Number 8 on the list, Immortal Hulk number 2, the 5th printing, the Alex Ross 1 in 25 Virgin variant. Now, I got to say, I do think this is a really cool cover. I own 2 copies of the first print that I bought right off the rack, right off the store shelf. So, yeah, I feel lucky in that regard. I've got a beautiful run of Immortal Hulk. I've got every issue, multiple copies of the Alex Ross covers, and now they want $50 to $55 for this. That's about right. I mean, I went to a couple shops and they were asking $65. So that's about right. Most of the store owners are like, yeah, I got to buy 25 5th printings, but they realize that they might be sitting on those regular 5th printings for a while to get one copy of this Virgin variant. So, yeah, this is a book that's probably going to stay, I would say it's going to stay $45 or higher for a while. It is a beautiful cover. I like the fact that it's a Virgin. So if you can buy this at $40 or under, I think it would be a steal. I think it's just going to be hard to find it. You know, if you go to eBay right now and look, you know, $55, buy it now for $55. There's one that's on bid for auction, and it has a buy it now of $90. Yeah, there's not too many for sale. There's a graded copy at $200 with 0 bids. So another one for $72. So $55 seems to be the low end of the range right now. $64. Yeah, so I would say $55 to $65 is kind of what it's selling for right now. So if you could get it below $45, I think that would be a really good price. I own 2 copies of the original first printing. I still think the first printing should always be worth more than a 5th printing, even if it's an incentive variant. And currently it is, right? First print of that is an $75, $80 book all day long. So that's the way it should be. I mean, the first print should always be worth more than a 5th printing, in my opinion. But doesn't mean it always is. Of course, it just depends on the print run and the demand for it. Number 7, Queen Sonia, number 23. I'm not too familiar with this book. Says it was going for $25 to $35. Now it's going for $55. Kind of a tough book to find. I don't remember seeing this when it came out. I mean, I do collect some Red Sonja books. Yeah, of course, now because this is on the top 10 list, there's a bunch of people asking over $100 for it, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's a rare book maybe, so maybe it's worth paying a little bit more, but I don't know. I wouldn't chase it. $120, $110 seems kind of crazy to be paying for that. And that just shows you when this top 10 list comes out, it was $55 before this list was issued, and now it's, everyone's just trying to take advantage of it. So just understand, please, the market is very, very bubblish right now, very bullish. When these top 10 lists come out, there's a lot of people chasing those books, and especially a book that may not have that many for sale. Number 6 on the list, AOC and the Freedom Force Cease and Desist variant. Yeah, this is just a cash grab by a very small publisher. I think it's Ahoy Comics. I don't know, $80 to $100 seems ridiculous. I don't try to be political on this channel. I think politics should largely stay out of comic books. Everyone has the right to express their opinion. I just think, people don't go to comic books to read about politics, right? They go to comic books to read about fantasy, to read about, something that takes them away from the normal mundane things of life like politics. So, this would never be a book I would ever look to buy. If I saw it sitting on a shelf for $4, yeah, I'd buy it and instantly sell it and flip it so that I can use that money to buy something that has real value. But, it asks here, CBSI says, will they hold any long-term value? I would say the answer to that is absolutely no. I think if you check back a year from now, 2 years from now, no one's going to care about these books. So that's just my opinion, but I think politics should stay completely out of comic books, in my opinion. Number 5 on the list is Black Widow. Number 2, Stephanie Hahn's 1 in 20 variant. I honestly don't remember this book when it came out. I think this was several years ago. 9/8 just sold for $460. So if it was a 1 in 20 variant, that should have been like a $20, $25 book when it came out. This obviously escaped a lot of people's attention, including my own. I didn't even know about it. I like Stephanie Hahn's as an artist. I think she does a good job. I like her artwork. But I don't know. Chasing it, I think right now, just wait a few months and see if you can find somebody that puts it on eBay and doesn't realize that it's a hot book. That'd be my game plan if that was something you really wanted to make sure you picked up. I'm not a big Black Widow fan anyways, but there's people that, I like Stephanie Hahn, so there's a lot of people that will go after her artwork. So it's a very nice cover, no doubt about it. Number 4, Fathom number 1, the J. Scott Campbell customer appreciation variant. There's only 250 of these in existence. There's probably more than 250 people that like J. Scott Campbell. Although in my opinion, there shouldn't be too many more than 250 people. I just don't like his artwork. So if you go on eBay right now, yeah, there's somebody asking 150. Yeah, it looks like there's only, there is one here for $22. I don't think that's the customer appreciation variant, though. Yeah, it's not. They must have done an A cover. So J. Scott Campbell's been doing Fathom. I mean, I liked Michael Turner, but I didn't care for a lot of his comic books. In my opinion, most of them were poorly written. He did, and the other thing too is he would only do cover artwork. He never did interiors for Fathom. So a lot of people like Michael Turner, but I don't know. I never really cared for a lot of his series. It just wasn't for me. But I think he was a great artist, and I still miss seeing his artwork today. So, but J. Scott Campbell, yeah, I'm not a fan of his artwork. It's just not my style. Number 3 in the list, Walking Dead, number 191 and 192. I stopped buying Walking Dead around, I'm going to say 180, I think was the last issue I picked up. So I'm pretty far removed from Walking Dead. I did grab 192. Obviously, there's something significant coming out in that book. I won't give it away. I don't like giving spoilers away, but obviously there's something major in the title. I don't think this book has much more to go. If I were Robert Kirkman, I would end it right at issue 200. I don't think he's going to do that, but if I were him, that's what I would do. The show is about to end. Hey, it was a great run. He became very wealthy off of this series. The royalties alone off the show, he'll never have to work again. He'll never have to write a damn thing again in his life, right? He's a wealthy guy. And the comic series was good in its day, but I tell you, I was collecting it from issue 80 onward. So I have every single Walking Dead issue from 80 all the way to 180, right? So I've got 100 issues of Walking Dead. So I don't have the entire run, but I got a pretty good portion of it. And most of it I enjoyed, most of it I thought was good, but the last year, it's just not that good. I mean, it's just dragging. It seems like it's just rehashing the same stuff I've read before. I mean, he's getting a lot of criticism of it because of it, and I don't think this series is, I don't think it's going to go that much further. I don't think it's going to end it at 200, but if I were him, that's where I would end it. I would surprise everybody, come out with a big, huge, fantastic blow-off 200th issue, and then end the series and say that's it. That's what I would do. Number 2, Batman Beyond, number 6. I don't know why this is on here. I guess the first appearance of Inkay. I don't know who that is. This was a $1 comic book that's now going for 20. Or was 20 a few weeks ago, and now it's selling $40 to $50, and a 9/8 just sold for $230. So I'll have to do some research. I don't really know much about that comic book or that character, but somebody, I guess there was a column written about it, and it's boosted some sales, but not too familiar with it. Number 1 on the list is Rick and Morty, number 50. This is the Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon 1 in 25 variants. This was on last week's list. I don't know of any sales that happened around that $400 range. It must have been early on. Every listing I've seen on eBay has been $800 to $1,000. So I don't know of any copies that sold that low. I don't know. I agree with CBSI here. They're saying, are these really worth as much as NYX number 3 and 9/8? I think the answer to that is absolutely not. The Rick and Morty fan base is strong. Definitely, it's a great TV show. It's probably the funniest TV show I think I've ever watched. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. The comic book is not as good as the TV show. So Atomic Com, his channel, I know Russ Bright, who I don't care for most of the time. I don't usually share opinions with him at all. But I do share his opinion on that. He said the same thing. He said that Rick and Morty comic book is not near as good as the show. Absolutely, I agree with that. I think the first early issues were okay. It was sort of similar to the show. But as time went on, it just kind of wasn't as good. So I ended up collecting it through issue 35 or 40, I think, but I stopped collecting it after that. And this is something, I wouldn't pay that kind of money. I totally agree with CBSI. If I'm going to shell out that kind of money, it's going to be on a major, major first appearance character. 6 months from now, a year from now, I understand these are very low print run books. But they're just not going to command that kind of money, I don't believe. I mean, I've been collecting comic books for 30 years, and I can tell you, the only thing that really matters long term is a great character and a first appearance. Those are typically things that matter long term. Everything else, I think, buy what you love. I mean, I love buying these variants, and I think they're really cool. But do I think Deceased #2 is ever going to be a big major book? No, absolutely not. What's going to matter is stuff like this, right? First appearance of a character or villain or somebody that people care about. That's what's going to really be of value, not some obscure variant that, okay, the print run was very low on it, but who cares? I mean, it's 10 years from now, is anybody going to really care? I don't think they will. Not to the extent where you're going to be paying $1,000. I could be wrong. I mean, hey, I've been wrong before, but that's just my opinion on that. Also, real quick, there's a couple things I want to highlight. CBR had an article about Swamp Thing. Apparently, Swamp Thing is already canceled. I don't know how this happened, but I watched the first episode and I liked it. I thought it was very good. It was very creepy, very horror. Very much a good horror type of show. I think the fan base on that show could be very good, but there was some issue with the state of North Carolina. They made some paperwork mistake, and the production run of Swamp Thing was shelved because all of a sudden, they thought that they had to pay a bunch of taxes that they didn't think they'd have to pay from to the state of North Carolina. I don't know. It's a very weird. It sounds like a lame excuse to me. So I'm a little disappointed if that's really the case, and Disney Universe is not going to bring back or is not going to keep going with Swamp Thing. I think that's going to be disappointing. But the rumor is that I can't find the damn article now. Of course. Maybe they took it off already. I don't know. There was an article on CBR, I'm not imagining it, talking about that there's going to be an appearance of a character. I think his name is Floronic Man. I wasn't familiar with him, but I looked it up, and it's Flash number 245. The original character came out in the Atom #1, but I think he was just considered Plant Master or something like that. Kind of a strange character, but this issue right here, Flash 245, is the first appearance of Floronic Man. So I guess he's going to be maybe a villain, perhaps, in the Swamp Thing series. I think they said that he shows up near the end of the series. Problem is, if the series is really canceled and there's only one season, I don't really know what long-term, effect this is going to have on this comic book. But this is the first issue, or the first appearance rather, Flash 245. You can pick this book up pretty cheap. I found one on eBay for like $10, and it's a near mint copy. So this book came out in 1976. It's an older issue. 30-cent comic book, obviously, so it's maybe a little hard to find in a really high grade. Mine looks like a near mint minus, in my opinion. But I saw other ones on eBay that were definitely mid-grade to high mid-grade, maybe 7.5 to 8.0 range for cheap. I mean, $10 to $15. So mine I got a really good deal on for $10. I should have that in the next week. I'll kind of show that off on another video. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. It's total speculation. Floronic Man. I mean, it's kind of a lame name of a character, and what does he sprout? Flowers? He's going to attack you with a bed of roses? I don't know. I don't know much about the character, but that's his first appearance, Flash 245. So you may want to speculate. If you find a really good deal on one, that might be worth picking up. The other thing that's coming out. I'll see if I can find it here. I don't know if I'll. Obviously, Vampirella in Red Sonja, those issues are being kind of revamped or reran. And there is going to be a Shannon Mayer variant that will be coming out this coming Sunday, I think it is. See if I can find an image of it real quick. There was an older Shannon Mayer. I think this one right here. That was a Valentine's Day special #1 that came out a few months ago, and it's sold out. I mean, it's definitely a $50-$60 book now, and it was $20 when they premiered it. I think there's several websites that are promoting it. Man, I can't find an image of it. I thought it would be on Google Images. Let me look real quick on. I know Mutant Beaver. Believe they will be promoting it. Sorry, guys. Comics Elite, maybe, I think, was also promoting it. Maybe not. I know I got an email about it. 789. It's a weird website, 789 Comics. It's in the UK. Surprisingly, though, you do pay. Their prices are basically the same as US. Shipping is a tad higher because it's coming from the UK, but not much. It's not dramatically higher. Yeah, I know that they're selling it this Sunday, but they're not showing an image of it. Yeah, I wanted to really show an image of that book coming out, but I can't seem to find it. Sometimes if you go to the website of the artist, I didn't think of doing that. Either way, I'll give you the details on it. Maybe I go to her Facebook page. I know she posted it on Instagram because I remember getting a notification on Instagram about it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So that's the image. That comes out. There's a lot of websites selling it. There's only 500 copies available. It's a virgin. It's got a COA. It's numbered. So it's going to sell out. I promise you that. It will sell out. There's a lot of Vampirella fans. There's 3 or 4 websites selling it. Comic Mint, 789 Comics, Mutant Beaver. They're all promoting it. It goes live this Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm telling you, by 3 p.m. it will be gone. There's only 500 copies. It is a beautiful cover. It's kind of her laying in a pool of blood. I mean, it's pretty cool. I like it. I think it's an easy investment. It's $20. It'll sell out, and it'll be a $50, $60 book on eBay in a week or two, or less. So that's my opinion. Keep that on your radar this weekend on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will go live for sale on several websites, and just pick the one that you like. If you're in the U.S., you probably want to use Comic Mint. Shipping will probably be a little cheaper. I've got several things coming to me from 789 Comics. I'll probably use them because they'll combine the shipping for me, so I won't have to pay shipping. Not a lot of websites will do that. There was one of the websites, I think it was Comics Elite. I bought a couple things from them, and I bought another comic book that they only had it for sale there. It wasn't available anywhere else, so I didn't have the choice of deciding to buy it somewhere else. But they would not combine shipping. So even though I had 2 other items coming from their website, they're like, nope, sorry, we can't do that. You're just going to have to pay us the shipping costs, and we'll ship it separately. So I didn't think that was cool. So be aware of Comics Elite. They won't combine shipping for you on items, but a lot of other websites will. Mutant Beaver, I know, will. Absolutely, they will. They're very, very consumer friendly. You just email them, and they respond right away. They're very good. They'll do that for you. Mutant Beaver Comics. And then 789 Comics also does that as well. So, so if you're buying multiple copies of something from the same website, just shoot them an email. Say, hey, can you combine the shipping so I don't have to pay $4 or $5 for each of these items? And they'll absolutely do that for you most of the time. So that's kind of what I had for you guys. I know this is a long video. I wanted to cram a lot of information in here. Wanted you guys to know of things that look pretty cool, that I think have value. I definitely think this Vampirilla Shannon Mayer book will be hot. It's a beautiful drawing. I don't like everything Shannon Mayer does. I think some of her artwork, I did not like the Harley Quinn that she did for Deceased, #1. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like her Wonder Woman. But I like the Vampirilla, and I really like the Red Sonja that she did, and I think this one will sell out. So just my opinion. I don't have any other basis to, I don't know for sure, but it's only limited to 500, and it comes with a COA, and it's a virgin. So usually those three things with a good artist and a good image usually means it's going to sell out. So don't be surprised if this is gone by 3 p.m. on Sunday. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I will probably post another video this weekend, so be on the lookout for it, and hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.